Welcome back, guys, to more small talks. Let's discuss more about the Pen Spinning World Tournament for this year, 2025. Right now, I'm just looking at the website here. It seems from last time the amount of supporters has increased a lot. So, shout out to those who decided to put the money in and to make this possible. And yeah, hope for more supporters in there as well, including myself. I'm having a bit of a liquidity issue right now, so whenever that gets solved, I'd like to support myself as well. So I think last time we've jot down a bit through into the rulebook. There's some error coming out here. So I want to sort of give a read through the judging criteria this video, and maybe if we have time, we can also take a look at the World Tournament 2021 rulebook and make a comparison with it. So yeah, let's get on to it. We read signups. We read the tournament format. Oh, I finally figured out, by the way, what the serpentine or snake seeding system is. You basically like, I don't know what you call that, but you go back and forth in that round, and then you make a group from in as like vertical group. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it that well. In order to make the seeding, I'm not sure whether that's more effective for the sake of this tournament, but I think it's like kind of like the first time that such system has been used for a pen spinning world tournament. So let's see how that works. Okay, let's give a look at the judging criteria, guys. So I want to make this video as well as for people sort of make I'm sure experienced or seasoned spinners would know, but in world tournament for pen spinning, there was a tendency for very experienced spinners to throw the low ball at first. They'll give their full potential or their full all out on their first round video. They usually sort of look around, take a look at who else is participating, look at their level of spinning, and adjust the difficulty or execution to a level that is just enough to satisfy the judges so that it goes over the other spinners. So I think that strategy is still quite effective in this tournament as well. So yeah, take you guys should also take that into consideration as well. Okay, now off we go. Please note, judges' scores are not intended to be precise. Let me zoom this in a little for you guys to read it more, to make it easier for you guys to read it more. Judge scores are not intended to be premised or objective measurements, fair, but rather to efficiently communicate the areas of relative strength or weakness found from an artistic perspective and to compare performance across different spinners in a group or a battle. Okay, so it's not like, I guess, each judge scores are provided, but rather to efficiently communicate the areas of relative strength or relative. So, I think this is interesting. I mean, this has been the thing in 2021 as well, but usually a judge's opinion should not really hinder the other, unless, of course, they don't really know how to like perceive a particular trick or a combo. Usually, to me, a judge's expectation is that they have the knowledge, they have the enough credibility to sort of support their own opinion. So I guess this sort of like notes that some of the judge scores for this year would be more to the on the collective side, maybe, or it's just like just mentioning that as a reminder. Since all results are determined by ranks on judges' scorecards, judges have no obligation to use any defined scales or benchmarks when providing scores as long as the four criteria are weighted equally. Some judge scores may be significantly lower or higher than others within the 0 to 10 criteria score range. That does make things, that does set expectations a lot lower for those who want it more rigorously like fair. So I think the assumption previously was if they're all really good judges, all the scores should be the same. But since the skill level and the knowledge level is quite relative per judge, there might be some discrepancies between scores. This has definitely happened in the past tournaments and has caused some frustration to those participants and audiences. But I think mentioning this would sort of ease that tension a little. And it's certainly a true thing that these judges are should not sort of like be completely the same, although ideally that should be the case. But since we're all human and all our each spinner's experience is different, I think that's really fair to say. Okay, so right off the bat it says four criterias, and I think compared to World Tournament 2021, the amount of criteria has definitely lowered. So I think two ways. One could see this as like the judging criteria got a lot simpler, so that it's easier for judges to sort of like make that judgment on who wins or not. Others can interpret this as okay, so if it's only four criteria, then if there's another criteria outside of those four, how do we put that in consideration, or should that be put into consideration into the judging? That always has been sort of the difficulty. I think one of the difficulties I think when judging a combo from a competitive and a objective perspective. But yeah, see how that goes as well. Although I think just looking at the difficulty here, maybe parts of like what was in the previous criteria has been sort of like got blended into these current criteria points as well. Let's see here. Difficulty 10 points, execution 10 points, creativity 10 points, and construction 10 points. So that's a max of 40 points per spinner or per battle, whichever highest is winning, I guess. Difficulty always, they always bring like the biggest or the largest like discussions, since difficulty is probably most relative to spinners. One trick can be more difficult for a person with these particular skill sets or hands than a person with a different set of those skill sets. So it's really, I think that part is very dependent on the judge. So like a person who doesn't really do much difficulty-based combos may have a different score compared to those who are used to difficulty, and likewise for other criteria like execution, creativity, or construction. So having as many of samples and sort of like easing that out throughout the whole scoreboard will probably get a more consensus score than, let's say, a fewer amount of judges. So there is density. Are some parts of the combo significantly easier than others? Does all the material in the combo uphold a high standard of technical skill? Is the difficulty of the combo represented in just one or two sequences or spread out throughout the combo? I think the implication means that if the combo is just hard throughout the whole video, then most likely you'll get a higher point for difficulty. Now, this is the first time of me seeing timing-based difficulty and precision-based difficulty, so I'm not sure what that would mean. Do many tricks in a combo permit a small margin of error with respect to timing? Examples of difficulty timing may include advanced tricks, first fish busting, hyper-modern links, or FL counters. I understand FL counters, but I'm not sure what this hyper-modern links mean. Fist bust, hyper modern links, FL counters. I'm curious what this hyper modern links would look like. They just mean fingers mushed together in a very awkward finger positioning and performed well. I mean, they're all flush sonic tricks, I guess. Are the oh, but sorry, it says links, so. It's difficult to interpret. Precision-based difficulty. Do many tricks in combo permit a small margin of error with respect to hand or finger positioning? Examples of difficulty precision include knuckle power passers, cardio tricks, or top spins. I need someone to educate me the differences between these two. One is timing, one is precision. But are these two quite interlinked? Well, I guess it's time for me to learn power tricks then. Okay. Alright, I think I'm more fond with this one. Execution, 10 points. Take into consideration the following aspects combo. Controlling hand motion. Do the spinner's hand and arm move erratically? Do unexpected errors lead to sudden movements of the hand? Do the pen and hand move excessively or out of frame? Makes sense. Effective and emphasis. I guess effectiveness is part taken in here as well. Does the spinner take care to draw attention to the combo most interesting, difficult, or appealing sections of the combo? Are pacing, finger position, and hand movements used to emphasize some tricks or sequence over others? Over... What do you mean by over others, though? Over other combos of the video, I guess? Rotations of pen motion. Does the motion of the pen form a nearly complete circle when intended considering trick selection? Are changes of direction performed smoothly during changes in the plane of rotation? Or crisply when performing counter tricks? I don't know, such terminology can be conveyed in here. Crisply. You know, it's... I know for the case of World Tournament, it should be handled that way, but I think there are cases where the pen spinning looks good when the circle is actually not complete, but I think that's really more into the core of the execution point side of pen spinning, or the artistic side of it. Next is creativity, 10 points. Original material or concepts. Does the combo contain tricks that have never been done before? Does the combo contain tricks that have never been done before? Does the combo introduce new ideas about trick construction or presentation that opens up new ground for innovation? Inventive variations. Among tricks and sequences, they do not demonstrate new materials. Are they new or inventive ways of executing, displaying, combining, or modifying existing material or concepts? And distinctive identity. Does the overall performance of the combo differentiate the spinner from others, rather than simply drawing inspiration from other notable pen spinners? Does this combo create a memorable, interesting impact on the viewer? Now, creativity is a bit tricky for the judges because I think it's solely dependent on the knowledge of the judges themselves. So I, I can say for myself that although I started pen spinning back in 2010 and 2011, I am quite knowledgeable of videos back from 2007 through until at the time 2021, and I was quite obsessed with watching like videos that nobody would ever watch as well. Simply because I think every spinner has their own story to their own spinning, and they all must have had at some point where they have recorded a very interesting video. And so when a new spinner does, say, a creative combo, and actually a spinner 5 years ago from today did the same exact combo, but which was just never been recognized, would that be counted as creative or not? I think it's quite debatable at that point. But to my perspective, if I know that linkage previously before, then I would probably I tend to judge it lower creativity because simply because it already existed before. Now, the way they perform it is a different story. If the way they perform it, let's say whether it's finger positioning, or whether it's angle, or whether it's how it executes it by like pacing and all that, if that tells that it's belongs to that particular spinner, I may score high on that creativity point. But simply like I'm looking at like just the material. Let's say if you put all the tricks on paper, and if those tricks, particular sets of trick in that combo was performed in the past, I wouldn't say necessarily say that that would that alone would be creative. There needs to be more context put into that, however, and I think that's why it's quite key for judges to have a wide knowledge base of what sort of videos existed before. And to take that into consideration, I mean, surely Isaac would know a lot. RPD would know a lot about that as well. Padres, I mean, old spinners in general will probably have no knowledge base on that. I think that in that aspect, looking at PBB and Vanilla's, and to some extent maybe Heron's judging would be interesting to see how they sort of interpret a spinner's creativity or not. So that's creativity. And lastly, construction. Taking into considerations complexity. Does the combo display an effort to combine tricks and sequences in a non-simple way? Complex construction may involve unconventional finger slots and rapid changes in trick type, while a simple construction may link key sequences together with passes or aerials. Variety. Does the combo maintain memorable sequences of tricks? On the other hand, does it contain tricks or sequences that feel repetitive or randomly assembled? Are there visual highlights that stand out to the viewer? Okay. Thematic cohesion. Do the tricks and sequences feel like they belong together? Does the spinner display a specific form of mastery or highlight specific set of concepts in the material they have used? On the other hand, do certain tricks or sequences feel out of pace or unnecessary? I guess thematic cohesion is like whether you make the tricks work in terms of presentation. Just my personal example, if you put like a high tua in the middle of the combo that's usually used as a finisher, it may feel out of place. But if you're able to incorporate it in a way that the highest difficulty of the trick is not high tua, but a different trick that is used in the finisher, which is usually one of the most impactful moments of the video itself, then it might work. I don't know. So I think that's thematic cohesion. For complexity and variety, it's a bit difficult as well. So for complexity, I think there are tricks that present itself as a complex trick simply because of how the fingers are positioned, and then there are really like complex trick composition where like it's sort of hard for you to see what tricks are performed within just one look of the video itself. So you need to go back to the moment to sort of analyze and all that. I think current spinning sort of embodies that quite how should I put this, quite explicitly, I guess. So I don't think complexity would be that much of a issue for current spinners participants, maybe. But I think variety might be a bit of a challenge for those. Does contain memorable sequences of tricks. So I think in a video there should be ups and downs to make things more interesting. If, let's say, throughout the whole combo, I wouldn't say monotone, but it's like just difficult, complex tricks after all of that. It's sort of hard for you to see like which part is like the highlight or not, whether it's a balanced combo. In that example for me, like it's just one very long finisher, and I wouldn't really, from an artistic perspective, I really call that a pen spinning combo. It's just a one long finisher. Personally speaking, that's sort of unpopular opinion from my side. I just don't want to see in this tournament that all of the combos are just 15-second to 20-second finishers. But we'll see how it goes. So I think that's criteria. It's very simple, so I think it's really easy to understand for judges to sort of comprehend this. Now, I think what I also remember is, there are deductions. All submissions are required to fulfill certain criteria and eligible for full score. The combo may be no shorter than 10 seconds and no longer than 23 seconds from the beginning of the trick to the end of the trick. 2 full points will be deducted from the contest score for every second it deviates from these limits. Okay. It's quite an explicit way of describing that. Videos must be submitted via DM to Twitter or using video submissions forms on Google Form, link coming soon. Video must be submitted via methods above by 11:59 p.m. of GMT time zone. Extenuating circumstances may permit submissions after that without, in some cases, late requests are unlikely to be accepted. That's fair. Unless judges grant extension due to extenuating circumstances, 1 full point will be deducted from every hour past. Okay. I'm hoping that there's a way to sort of prove that. I guess this is quite easy if you take a look at Google Form results and all that. Videos may not be edited in such a way that impacts observable performance. This includes separating together, removing any video frames. Videos must begin. Points may be removed from the contest score for following reason. Spinning time significantly off camera. Video quality. Video angle causes difficulty evaluating combo. Video zoom causes video shakiness. Poor sportsmanship or inappropriate behavior. Cases will be evaluated case by case basis. Only from the participants though. Submissions may be disqualified by breaking any listed guidelines to an acceptable degree. 4 second. Okay. Disqualifier will be applied uniformly across all judges. The judge will discuss and agree upon the exact point deduction for any case. Incrementals 0.5 points may be used and are encouraged when using a science score with greater precision. Increments smaller than are discouraged but may be used to maximize precision. I don't think that's really necessary, I guess. Writing or recording judges' comments. Sorry. Video recording of judges' commentary are only permitted for final, semi-final, and final. Video recordings, okay. Recorded comments are expected to uphold the same standard of thoughtfulness and detailed written remarks. Aside from general quality, I love this combo. Based on your previous round, I expected better content. Comments should only pertain to aspects of video that are reflected on Georgia. Judges should make clear reference to the terms included in this rulebook whenever possible. I wonder what happens if the judges don't do that. I think in the past they replaced that to the judges. So let's see how that happens. So yeah, I think that's the whole rulebook, latter part of the rulebook. Actually, before this video, I used ChatGPT to compare it with the 2021 rulebook that I had here. So as you can see here, let me zoom it in here. Yeah, so there was actually there's 5 criteria, okay, up to 40 points. So I made the, how should I put it? I basically added 2 of the rulebook and make a comparison chart highlighting the differences between the 2. And it turned out quite alright, I guess, to make that comparison. So yeah, I think we can sort of give a look at it. Judging criteria comparison, WT, I love how they say WT, like they understand what it means now. Total points, 40 points plus presentation penalties, 40 points. Same total, but includes deduction category, integrates presentation into execution. I guess? Is that really the case? Execution. I mean, I guess to an extent, but not really like... I think presentation in the 2021 was related more towards camera quality or angling or FPS and all that. Yeah, or off cam. I guess in that sense, whatever he's saying is true. I guess it proves that, you know, ChatGPT isn't always right. But I guess we could just take a look at it as sort of a reference here. Number of criteria, 5 major categories. Oh, going back to total points, there are also point reductions in 2025 as well, so I don't think there is really much of a difference for total points here. Number of criteria, 5 major categories, 4 equally weighted categories. WT 2025 was effectiveness and presentation as standalone. Ideas merged into other categories. I saw effectiveness in 2025, but I think it was in either construction or creativity, and maybe parts of execution, so that makes sense. Execution, 12 points. World Tour 2025, 10 points. Control, refinement, tempo. Control, emphasis, and pen motion. Emphasis breaks down physical control, merges execution with a visual presentation. Difficulty, 10 points, that doesn't really change. 2025 adds more specific subtypes, density, timing-based precision, precision-based difficulty. 2020 focus more on community standards and consistency. Community standards, really? You gotta take a look, man, like, how hard is material? Material-based. Difficulty isn't up to standards. Oh, okay. It is quite a relative thing. I guess we gotta give it to 2025 for trying to make a more specific criteria for difficulty. So I think, again, I think the it was hard to sort of like try to articulate difficulty into words. So I think in that sense, yeah, adding density was definitely a plus, but I'm not really sure about timing-based difficulty or precision-based difficulty. In the past, there has been like stuff like technical difficulty or something like that. I think another one was shoot, I forgot what it was called. Physical difficulty and effective difficulty. The differences was like whether it's physically difficult to do it with your hand, like really difficult finger positioning, and effective difficulty sort of like implies how difficult it is to link these two combos into one sequence, something like that. I think to this day it's still debatable what difficulty pertains in pen spinning. Creative originality. Originality 10 points, creative 10 points. 2025 shifts language to creativity with more emphasis on presentation identity. 2021 is strict about meta tricks and material recycling. I think an effectiveness is quite the same. Effectiveness, construction, effectiveness 8 points for 2021, construction 10 points. Expands the cohesion and structure as a full category. 2025's effectiveness merges impact and structure. Presentation up to -2 penalty, incorporated into. Okay, this is. I don't know. It's specific, but it's not like completely correct. I think. Scoring format required to use formats in order to adjust the score ranges. Judges can score freely within 0 to 10 per category using 0.5 increments. 2025 is stricter structure. 2025 allows more freedom, but only equal category weighting is required. Judging comments, sorry. Mandatory 140 characters. Optional, written mandatory until semis. Video comments allowed later. 2020 demands detailed comments. 2020 allowed comments only in later stages with less strict formatting. I think for 2021 too, comments were not really necessary. Especially for qualification round, the round 1 and 2. But yeah, it's always more welcome to have less effort for the judges, but you need to balance between serious judging and well, actually, they're all serious judging, but like to sort of digress one spinning with just a number, I personally feel isn't really that fair, but it's sort of like a necessary thing to do, just so that we can proceed with the tournament itself. Time limit rules are unpardoned time violations count as strikes. For 2025, it affects the scoring itself. Video quality rules, part of presentation listed, less a separate deduction section. I think this is like effectively the same. Judge selection conduct. Strict selection PD, PBOD approval, street talks. No selection process described, but collaborative scoring discussed. 2020 is clear disciplinary framework. 2012 focuses more on qualitative consistency. I guess. Tiebreakers, multiple levels, nationality. Okay. Not explicitly outlined. Has formal tiebreaking rules, leaves the implicit or informal. Tiebreaking rules. What's that? Okay. We could count which ones given when more times by judges. There could be a tie. In that case, tiebreakers are exclude win given by judges from the same country. The points given to each combo to each judge are added the combo which got more points to win. Judges will deliberate and solve the tie. I guess for 2025, the third tiebreaker will be the main thing. Okay, overall summary SGKs. From objective to artistic. 2025 rules emphasis artistic evaluation over rigid score standards. I do not agree with that. It goes for artistic and competitiveness, I think. Man, ChatGPT, they're not. I guess I didn't frame the question right, but it is what it is. Yeah, so compare performance across. More emphasis on performance identity. Creativity now includes distinctive identity and viewer impact. Cleaner category design. Simplifies it to 4 categories. 2025. Some unevenly weighted. Video presentation now part of judging, not penalized separately. I guess in effect, having it as like a score adding criteria for presentation, it encourages spinners to make it look cleaner. I'm not sure what the impact is, but we'll see how it goes for that. So yeah, I think that's all of the commentary I have for the criteria. Most likely I'll probably go look back into the criteria, same as you guys as well. By you guys, I mean the participants. Whenever you guys want to submit a video for the tournament. Good luck to those who are participating. And see you later. Let's see what those participant lists look like. I think next month, right? Yeah, next month. See you later.